The producers, Greg, Mark and Oren, told us this is going to be down and dirty, it's low budget, and it's probably not going to turn out to be the film you've envisaged in your head.
I had storyboards very early on in the shoot, but when I realized that I was never going to get the shots I had planned, it was like storyboards were out the window. And I was literally just making shots up on set, you know, just making it up on the spot, trying to just trying to make it work, basically. We shot the film in 35mm and in 1.85:1. Originally, I wanted to shoot it in 2.35, but everyone was telling me that you need more lights, you need more expensive lenses, you need to build more of the set because it's a wider screen format. So I'm like, oh, okay. So from the very first day, it was all about compromise with this film. I definitely think, for me, from a directing point of view, the hardest thing was having a very strong vision in your head, but not being able to stick to it. On a good day, the actors would get like 2 takes. James would ask for a 3rd take, and the AD would be like, "What do you think you are, Kubrick?" You know, like I'll spend the whole day trying to get my shots done, and when I wouldn't get the shots, I would just end up getting really depressed, and I would kind of just stay there on set while everyone else has gone off to lunch, and go, oh man, what can I do to fix up my shots? So I would spend a big chunk of my lunchtime just literally not having lunch and just thinking about the shots.
Most of the time, James would be pacing with the script in one hand and a can of Coke in the other. He'd just be pacing, trying to figure out what to do, so I just kept well away.
You have to have a creative approach to it when you don't have any money to work with.
The budget limits, again, the amount of toys, but I think it enhances the creativity because you always have to find a new and interesting way around a problem that crops up.
I knew that the only way we were going to be able to make this movie for this budget was to shoot it in 18 days and to be in one place. If we had to have trucks and move around and do all that, there was no way we were ever going to get it done. So I called up Greg and I said, okay, I know how to do this. There's this perfect place. It's this old warehouse, and it's got 3 buildings and some courtyards. And some guys took it over and they rented out as a film facility.
Lacey Street Studios afforded us every single thing we needed, every location, dressing rooms, the works.
Luckily for us, you know, it really fitted into the theme of the film and the visual aesthetic of the film, right? That I didn't really need, you know, huge, expensive-looking sets. I basically needed sets that look run down, and this place was perfect for it.
Within the space, there's a couple of what they call standing sets. There's like an apartment set and a courtyard set and a police station set. And then there's just like weird shaped rooms and corridors and all this kind of stuff. And the bathroom set was the only set that we built from scratch. Everything else was a modification of something that existed and still does exist at Lacey.
We wouldn't have been able to make the movie if we had to pack up and make location changes. And so we were very fortunate being able to find one location that had enough rooms and warehouses and what have you that we could use to create all the different locations that we needed for the film.
And so for us, a location move meant my going, okay guys, we're on to the next set, and everybody'd grab a cart and we'd push it over, 100 feet to the next little room that was there, and we'd start shooting.
We never ever had to move the company from the day we started to the day we finished. And that's really what enabled us to put it together.
Once we figured out where we were going to build the bathroom, then we walked around with James, and it was all about picking what we were going to shoot where. And I printed out a list of the remaining sets that we needed, and we walked around, and we were saying, okay, where do we want to shoot the detective's desk? Oh, okay, right over here. And a number of the sets were literally just empty rooms. It was just done by set dressing. The jaw trap room is this totally empty space, exactly the way we found it, and we put just no lights. We let everything go to black. Shawnee Smith, with this jaw trap on, is sitting in a chair, and we set up a circular dolly around the chair, and we just went around and around and around at different camera speeds, at different dolly speeds, and that was it. And the razor wire room is another example. We were walking around. I think we had picked just about everything except where we were going to shoot the razor wire room. And James goes, well, what's that? There's this big oak door in the floor. I said, well, that leads down to the crawl space underneath this building. And James was like, this is cool, we have to shoot here. I said, well, Danny Glover's like 6'5", so he's not going to be able to really stand up down. No, we got to shoot down. And that was the day that David Armstrong, our director of photography camera operator, picks up the camera and puts it on his shoulder, turns around, bam, smacks his head right into one of the floorboards. And we had to send him to the hospital for a concussion, and our gaffer shot the rest of the scene. So there was finding places like that existed. If Lacey hadn't existed, it would have been an extremely difficult project to do.
I came over about a week before we started shooting, and so the first moment that I had that was truly was when I just went on a quick tour of the set, and they were in the middle of building the bathroom, and that was when I was like, whoa. The first day on the set was more nerves about what I was going to do with the performance, but I just remember being blown away by the fact that this room that had only ever existed in my imagination for the past 4 years was now there. You could touch it.
The bathroom stuff was filmed chronologically in the sequence that they happen in the script, but when more than 60% of film takes place in one location, you want to try and find ways to actually make it interesting. You want to mix and match it a bit, change it a bit. I had all these really lavish and really grand ideas of like moving the walls aside and doing dollying shots around the actors, and just trying all this different stuff, but there was just no way to pull them off. Just ended up all being handheld, and you just shoot it as quick as you can, turn the camera around, shoot the other reverse actors, and then the AD would be like, come on James, we're moving on to the next scene.
Working in the bathroom set, which was out of 18 days, 6.5 were there, so a little over a third of the film was shot in the bathroom. And this set was very small, and when we built it, we basically built it out to the size of the room that we were building it in. Unlike a lot of movie sets where you take one wall off and now you got all this space, we were all in there. And you look at the bathroom on screen, and for every shot that you see, you have to stop for a moment and realize that to get that shot, there's a camera dolly, dolly grip, camera operator, myself, the director, the script supervisor, the video monitor to watch it on. So there's this ton of equipment, and it's all has to be behind the camera. So now if you look at the movie and you look at one of the wide shots where you're seeing, like from Carrie's point of view, Lee chained to his corner of the bathroom, and you're seeing the whole bathroom, just picture 15 of us standing on each other's shoulders back behind the camera stuffed into this little corner. So that's what it was like every day in that bathroom. And then, of course, adding all the blood, which was a progressive task. And it came to the point where I was constantly going, okay, don't step in the blood. We got to cover up the blood. And people were starting to step in it, and footprints were going through. And that was like the last thing you needed, was to see like a grip's footprints going across the bathroom.
Tobin was laying there the entire time, and God bless him, man. That's no easy task to be laying on the floor every day.